Hello? Can you hear me? Lauren? Hello?
How? Finally. What happened?
I don't know.
Let me see if I can share. Oh, great. I can share. Can you all see my screen?
Well, by the way, I don't see your name, but it's highlighted this egg twice. It's
I
fine.
think Zoom is just a border today.
It's fine, but hopefully it's already 6:06.
Yeah, Eli couldn't get access either.
Lauren, can you hear us?
Okay, she said she's about to admit people.
Okay.
I can't put on my video either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Elastic, can I put the link in the chat? The link to
Okay. Just
Hi, everyone. We're glad you could make it. Maybe we'll just wait to 2 more minutes before we start. Perhaps others will join us. I'm Bukola Agbola. I'm with the GIS specialist at the E.J. Lab, and today we'll be looking at the Park Equity Tool, Maryland Park Equity Tool. Dr. Tadasi, would like to introduce yourself? I'm here with my colleague, Dr. Tadasi. We can't hear you, Dr. Tadasi. Okay, he's also a GIS specialist at the E.J. Lab.
sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Haile Tadesse, a GIS specialist from the E.J. Lab. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Yes, thank you for joining. If you can write your name and organization in the chat, we appreciate it. So, the time is 6:09. Maybe we should just go ahead and start. And Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
So thank you once again for joining. This is the Maryland Park Equity Mapper. And the Park Equity Mapper is the tool that tries to look at park equity in the state of Maryland. And equity simply refers to the park equity simply refers to the fair and just distribution of park across the state of Maryland. I'm trying to, my system seems to be stopped. Just a minute, I need to.
It doesn't go.
It's not going. Just, I don't know. Zoom has been a bother today. I don't know. Dr. Tazi, can you share and
Okay.
can you share so that I can?
Okay, just give me 1 minute.
Thank you.
Okay, can you see now?
Yes,
see?
yes. Can you
Okay,
go?
go ahead and I will try to do
Yes,
this.
thank you so much, Mr. Delasi.
Okay.
Yes. So the Park Equity Mapper was developed by the T.H.E Lab in collaboration with Maryland Department of Natural Resources, DNR, and NOAA, and also the University of Maryland Center of Geospatial Information, GIS. And the purpose of this tool is to identify communities with low park equity. To identify communities that have low park equity and low access to park. We need to, let me admit someone. Okay, I just admitted someone. Dr. Tadasi, next slide.
I did.
Okay, so the park equity tool is divided into two categories. That is the park equity, that's the park equity and the demographic. What I mean by park equity, that's the park access and the demographic part of it. We're talking of demographic, we're looking at population, we're looking at linguistic isolation and other demographic factors that are included to find out, to see if those factors are related to access of park. For instance, in a community, if there is a park, we want to find out people where they have low income communities, do they have equal park access as their counterparts with higher income bracket? So we're trying to look at other demographic factors that may influence the location of a park in a certain area. So also, and the park equity map is in the block group level. So when we have the sensors designate areas into the block level, the block group, the census tract, the county, and the state. It goes higher like that. So the block group is in between the block level and the county and the census tract. So the block group is a combination, a group of blocks that forms the block group. And the data is sourced from so many places. This is just some of the areas where the data was sourced to create the map. As we go further, we will demonstrate. You'll see other sources that was used to collect data to form. And it's an interactive map. You can go into the tool, you can interact, you can put domains, you can see different indicators, You can see, you can type what you want to see, and it will give it to you. So it's an interactive map. The next slide, please. So what are the indicators in the park equity tool? The tool has basically these 9 indicators. It looks at population density score, low wealth score, children under 18, adult above 65, the non-white score, that's people of color, park distance, what's the distance from the community to the nearest park, public transit distance, how long does it take, or what's the distance to the nearest public transit, walkability distance, can you walk to the park, linguistic isolation. So all these have a score. So for the park score is a compilation of all these factors. Then the population density score, looking at number of residents per acres. Oh, someone said I'm unable to read the slides because it's cut off. Do any way you can? Okay, thank you so much. So the park density score, please can you go back to the previous? Thank you. The park density score, look at the number of residents per acres. So what's the density? And it's now scored between 0 to 100. That's the percentile. Then the low wealth score, looking at households that earn below 185% of the county poverty level. So looking at the poverty level and now also converted to percentile. So for the children, look at ages of children between 0 to 17 in relative to the overall population. Same thing with the adult. They also look at the people of color, non-white score. Looks at the park distance score, and the average distance of each location to the park. Also looks at public transport score, which talks about what's the distance or accessibility of public transport to the nearest house or to the neighborhood, and linguistic association, looking at household from maybe ages from 0 to 14 that can speak English or cannot speak English fluently. So all this combination, when all these scores when you get all these scores, it's converted to percentile, then added to get the overall park equity score. So we can say the tool it has a cumulative score because it combines different scores together to get the overall score. Next slide, please. So the tool also have different context layers attached to this tool. So you can also see the nearest supermarket, how far is it from the community, grocery store, public transport, bus stop, and other things, concentrated feeding. It also shows us some form of environmental exposure. You're out of the slideshow. It shows us the form of, it also gives us some environmental exposure and environmental burden factor that we can see and know actually what is happening in the community and in that neighborhood. The next slide, please. So that is the link. Dr. Tadas, maybe you can put the link again in the chat in case, or let me see if I can do that. So you can access the tool through that link. I think it has been put in the chat. So when you click to that link, it takes you to the landing page. And on the landing page, you come to this, you see that's the landing page you're looking at, and you click interact with the map. That will now take you to the tool itself. Next slide, please. Yeah, for clarity, that is the landing page. Next slide, please. Sure, please bear with us. I think Zoom is a bit tricky today. Okay, can you go to the next slide? Okay, so what does park, before this, what does park equity mean? And why is it important? Park equity means creating equal access to people. And it's important because it encourages community health. Evidence have shown that going to the park promotes physical activity, promotes exercise, and also promotes social activity. People benefit from social activity and Also has its economic benefit as well as environmental benefit because of the green space. Also has environmental benefit as well. Next slide. So the next slide will show us the tool. Dr. Darcy, the next slide. Yes, this is the tool. So when you go to the tool, these are the features you find in the tool. On the left, you find the legend, you find the reports. You can also look at the side-by-side comparison. For instance, you want to look at two demographics, maybe low income and people of color. You can click that and it shows you the two different demographics and the two scores. Then you have the base map. You can change the base map depending on your preference. The default is the topographic map. That's what we're looking at, but you can also change the base map. You can change it to a street map. If you want to see the streets, you can change it to any other maps that are base map that are available in the tool. Then you have the different layers. You have the park equity score. You have the park equity factors. Those are the different 9 factors we looked at. It also shows us water assets. What are the water assets we have there? The EJ context layer, and you have access to other mappers. There's also a health guide in the tool. Next slide. So in the legend, what do you see? It shows the park equity score, and this park equity score is color coded. So the darker colors represent higher level of burden or higher level of inequity, areas that don't have access to fair access to park. Then the lighter shade shows areas that are close to a park. Next slide. So when you have a darker color, that community is characterized as an underserved community. Next slide. So like I mentioned before, you have where you can see the chart. So apart from seeing the score, you can try to see a table that describes what is happening in your selected region, area of interest. The chart gives you that, and it gives you the numbers and looks at all the different demographic and variables that are being used to generate the score. Next slide. So you can also you can look at the chart. Also you have the advanced statistics. You can look at it either the block group level or the county level. And you can also generate a report from the chart, and you can print it out. There's the next one after the report. There's a printing icon where you can print out your reports. The next slide. That's the side by side. So for this one, looking at workability index and adults. So you can look at two different demographic or two different layers at the same time using the side by side map viewer. Next slide, please. The base map, like I mentioned before, different base maps. So depending on what you want to see, what you're interested in looking at the base of the map. So you can change the base map to any of them, but the default is the topographic map. I think right now we're looking at the street map. That's the street map showing currently. Next slide, please. Yes, so that link, you have other tools that you can access. You can access the MD Climate and Health Equity Mapper from this tool. You can access the MDEJ Screen Mapper. You can also access the water tool from this particular mapper. Next slide. So what's the park equity score? The park equity score, we have all these layers and data for all these layers that have been converted to percentile and summed together to get the park equity score. And we also have score for the county level, and we have score for the block group. So for the county level, the block group score is summarized to get a county level score. So this tool, you can either get county level or block group. We don't have census tract level for this particular tool. Next slide. So we downloaded the map. We brought it into the GIS software. So it can show you clearly areas in Maryland that have high equity and areas that have low equity. The areas that are dark, I think that's dark blue I'm looking at, that shows area with very low equity. Then the areas that are green, that shows area with high equity. So this is the ranges from 0 to 0.55. So the darker it goes, it shows that the area is underserved. This is the block group level. Can we see the county level, the next slide? So this is a county level. You can also see areas like Baltimore, Somerset, Dorchester, Wisconsin, all those areas, Prince George, Montgomery, Allegheny. So those are areas that have low equity. So the areas that have equity like Carroll County, Calvert County, Rochester County. So those are areas with high equity. This is the county level statistics. So how to search for the park equity? You type on the search box, you type whatever county, block group, address, even latitude and longitude, or a city, type whatever you want to see, and it will zoom in to that place. So you just click and it gives you the statistics. I also give you the park equity for that part, for your location of interest. Next slide. So like this is a this is like a reputation showing you how this is the census block group score for this particular address. I typed in an address there, so it zooms in and you click and it gives you the statistics. The pop-up window opens and gives you statistics of the park equity score for that location. Next slide. So the park equity models. The park equity model look at this different layer. Look at these layers, and it weighs them equally to get the park equity score. Next slide. So this is a diagram of the score of the layers. You look for the percentage walkability, percentage distance of traffic, percentage linguistic, percentage adult above 65, percentage children below 18, percentage low income, population density, people of color. So this is all weighted to give us the average and sums together to give us the score for a particular community, census block group, or a county. Next. Dr. Tadasi.
Yeah.
So now we have the different park types. It shows you whether it's people. Okay. It shows you the different park types that you have, people-powered recreation. It shows you if it's natural or nature-based recreation. So it just gives you the different park types that are available in the state. Next, Dr. Tadasi. And it also gives you the number of facilities that are available in the park. What facilities? Is it 3? Is it more than 3, more than 8 facilities that are available? It shows you that in the tool. Next slide, please. So you can look at each of the layers individually, the 9 context layers we talked about. So you can look at the population density. If you just want to look at the population density, what is the score of the population density for the state of Maryland? You just click on it and it gives you, the map pops up, and you look at the population density for that particular place. So the darker shades means more dense population, and the lighter shades means the least population. Next slide. You can also look at the ratio of households below the poverty level. You can look at that layer separately as well, and it gives you the score converted from 0 to 100 in percentile. So you know which area have a higher concentration of people that earn below the poverty level and otherwise. Next. Children under age 18, the same thing. You have a different layer, context layer for that. Continue. Adults above 65, another context layer. Continue. So it just gives you, just gives you all the context layers, people of color. So you can look at all those context layers individually and see what exactly is going on in the county and in the block group. Distance to park, So darker shades means the most distance, lighter shades means a closer distance to a park in that neighborhood or the block group. Next. Public transport distance, the same thing. You're able to figure out the distance. Walkability in distance. Go on, Dr. Tarasi. It's just the context, it's showing us the context layers. The next slide, please. Linguistic isolation. Then you have other additional layers. So you have the water access. This is what water access is available for swimming, is available for fishing, waterfalls or water trails. So it gives us all this in the tool as well. Next layer. Public fishing access. You have areas that are allowed for public fishing. Next. These are additional layers. I have the facilities. What facilities are in each of those parks? They also have the urban heat island. Next. You have the Gini index. And the Gini index measures, that's the coefficient or ratio, or much statistics. It's used to represent inequality, either inequality in wealth, consumption, or inequality in the population. So it just gives you an index of what is going on in that particular geographical location. Next. So what are the benefits? What does urban heat mean? That's the temperature. Sometimes during the summer, temperature can rise. Temperature can be very high and unbearable, especially for young ones and older people. So it becomes very hot. So just showing us the heat in the Dr. Can you go back? Can you go back to the one for the heat? Especially areas like where you have a build-up areas where there's not enough park or green space. So by the time the ray from the sun hits, the one for the heat. So you have where you have a lot of concrete, a lot of concrete and bare land, where you don't have a greenery in that area. It tends to be hotter than where you have an area with green. So it just gives us the urban heat island of that particular. So when it's red, it's really, really high. So that the heat in that area is high. And that can be pretty, that's why during the summer, it can really be very high. So coming, I don't know if I was able to answer that question. It's associated with lack of green cover. Then restoration. So the tool is so we can understand what is going on in our environment. So you can use it it just shows you where we have path access, areas that are having what data, the urban heat island. Let me check. The urban heat island, looking at the metadata, it's not, well, I'm not too sure, but I will verify. I'm looking at the metadata now. It's not stipulated. So I don't want to give the wrong data. So yeah, we have your email. I'll verify and give you the source. When you go to the help guide, you have the sources of some of the data, but the one for the heat island is not included there. So make sure to verify that for you. Dr. Tadasi, can you go to the next slide? So you can, with the tool, you can explore, you can compare different block groups. You can add additional context layer. So I can really, you want to visualize, you want to look at the overall score with people of color, overall score with any other context layer, maybe population, maybe low income. So it helps you to identify. So you identify residents or places that are in need of parks. I can also use it for policies. It's using to like for policy making, use it to know what exactly is going on in your environment and places that are underserved. So it's a very useful tool to look at and know exactly the park access in the state of Maryland. Then what's the next slide? What's the next slide? Okay, so benefit, yeah, like I said, you use it for policymakers can use it to find communities that are underserved and need new parks or new infrastructure or green spaces. They can make decision makers aware of the community needs. And because we all know the benefit of park is very essential for physical and mental well-being as well. Next slide. Thank you. So that is our email. Other colleague, Eli is not here, but this is my email is there, biagbola@umd, my colleague, Dr. Tadasi, that's his email. So you can get in touch with us if you have maybe further questions, or if you can access the tool, we can help you do that. So Dr. Tadasi, can you go to the tool itself so that we can do a demo of the tool? So the link is placed there. So why Dr. Tadasi is trying to bring up the tool. I want to use, okay, that's the link again. He has placed it in the chat. I want to use this time to talk about other projects. Dr. Tadasi, are you ready? Okay. Thank you. Yes, so that is the MD Park Equity tool. So from the landing page, you click interact with the tool, it takes you to this site. So the first thing you have, that's the first layer. Click the first layer, then click the park. When you click the park, that's the park equity layer. So the next icon, you have the different park equity factors, the 9 different park equity factors we talked about: distance, walkability, transportation, linguistics, population, low income, and the rest. Click on the next icon, the next tab. We also have the water access. What are the state water parks for swimming, public fishing areas, public water access, waterfalls. Now they included the COVID-19 data as well, included the segregation, genie access, food access, green space availability, zip code, legislative ban. It's a very rich tool. There's a lot of information. So apart from the park access, you have access to other information, public areas with public schools, green space availability, supermarkets, grocery stores. So a lot is in this tool. And you can see the percentile for each of those context layers. Can you go to the next tab? Thank you. So this tab takes you to another window. And this window tells you more about the tool, the data. Can you scroll down? The data that was used. Yeah, if you scroll down, it has more information about the different departments, type of parks, the layers, the measure for each, and the context layer gives you the data. Can you stop? So the heat island is not there, so we'll get that information across. So all this, I think the TRC should be from the EPA, if I'm not mistaken. So all that gives you the source of the data that was added into the tool. Then the next tab, and how to navigate, also shows you how to navigate the tool, how to use the different icons and the different apps, how to read the reports. how to generate the report, how to print. It gives you all that in the help portion, the documentation of the tool. Then lastly, the last icon there, the last tab there. Please, can you go back to the tool? Thank you. Yes. The last thing there we have, that one takes you to other tools. So can we do a demo? So if you want to look for an area, for instance, you type it in the search. When you type it in the search, it gives you the score for that particular area. So if you look at this area, just hold on there, please. Look at this area, you find out that it has the back distance is 0.01, which is low. It has workability 0.26, which is low. Linguistics isolation 0.45. Not for people of color 0.55. So it gives you the score for each of them and then gives you the overall. So what is the overall? Can you click out of that pop-up window? Let's look at the overall. Let's look at the percentile. So the overall score is between 0.23 to 0.24. That shows the place has high equity. So like I said, the lighter the shade shows it has high equity, and the darker the shade shows that it's a low equity. Look at this one now, the score is 0.33. If you look at the different index that was used, you see that the people of non-white is 68 percentile, linguistic isolation is 2.4, low income 0.43, pack distance 0.02, 0.01, and the overall is 0.33. Can you click out of that? Let's see where that falls in. Click out of this. Yeah, so 0. So it's between the second to the last percentile value there, 0.30 to 0.32. So that falls in between that region. So can you click on another place? So now this is 0.32 as well. It gives you the different context layers and their percentile. Look at workability is 0.50. So sometimes it depends. We may have like it's a single indicator can push up the score. If you look at the non-white score, you have 0.79, which is quite high. Have workability 0.50. Then low income 0.5. So that pushed up the index and makes it have a low equity, classified as a low equity area. So it's also the different percentile, the individual percentile for each of the context layer also matters to determine the overall score of that particular location. Can we move to maybe the next? So let's show the county. Let's show the county statistics. So here we're looking at the block group now. No, you have to click that. Then I'll click the county, uncheck the block group. And now this gives us, can you zoom out, please? So that this is different from the block group. It's now sums it into the county level statistics. And if you look at the map there, you can see that places like Garrett County, places like PG County, places like I think that should be Kent, Queen Anne, places like Somerset, places like Charles County, all those places have low equity, that's high index scores. Let's go to
So as you can see, Prince George County, Baltimore, Charles County and the eastern part, most of the eastern part of the state have high values, which means it's low equity. This means they lack green spaces or parks, but the value we have, if it is near zero, it means high equity. This means they have many park recreation areas around their neighborhood.
Thank you. Can we move to the next layer? Please uncheck the first layer so we can see the base. Go to the first layer and uncheck.
This is the density score. So as usual, you can see the urban areas are highly dense. So because of that, they will get high score, which means bad for park equity score. The next one will be maybe distance to public park space. You can see areas, especially the eastern part of the state, has high value compared to the areas in the western part of the state. And the next one is, okay. Distance, walking distance is this one, and as usual, the metropolitan areas have less value compared to the rural areas, as usual. This is the context, this is the water access. So if you have questions, please can you put it in the chat? So we have this COVID incidences, segregation, food access, location of supermarkets, groceries, education, public schools. If you have questions, please put it in the, okay, discuss.
Has access. Was everybody able to access the tool from the link?
Great. So you can access and see whatever in your neighborhood. You can also talk.
Yeah, for the most of the layers do have the metadata. So if you go to the help guide, it takes you to where you can download the data. That's why we're able to download the data into our software to produce one of the maps that
Yes.
so it has data. We have the metadata.
Yeah, it's available for public. Ms. Tovia, can you talk about the focus group?
So we are working on another project, which we call the MD 4.0. That's the Maryland EJ screen. We have a version currently open to the public, which is MD 3.2. So we want to add more indicators. So we are creating a newer version, an updated version of the Maryland EJ screen. So while we're doing that, we want to also involve the community. We want to know what are the indicators you think should be added in addition to what we already have, because we want to expand our indicators list and probably even expand the domains. So we have a focus group where we ask members of the community what are their thoughts concerning the current tool, what would they like to see in the revised version of the tool. I don't know, Ms. Young, do you want to talk briefly about the focus group? Maybe she's not okay.
Okay. So everyone, if you want to give us any feedback related to tool development, which is a Maryland EJ Screen 4.0, you can reach us by our email and give a feedback what indicators should be or can be added to the new tool. And you can also contact us anytime for any questions related to this tool or other tools we have. So we have right now the Mid-Atlantic EJ Screen, which is a regional level EJ Screen tool, which included the 6 states around us. We have Maryland EJ Screen 3.2 right now, but we are improving that to 4.0. We have also another like South Carolina EJ Screen tool, North Carolina EJ Screen tool. We have also new tool, which is called water tool. We have this park equity tool. We have also Maryland climate equity tool. So we continuously improve those tools, but we need a feedback from any community member. So we are happy to get your comments, your advice on this. So if you can, please put your emails in the chat. If you didn't do that, just a reminder. I mean, if you have any questions, you can also talk instead of typing.
And if you're interested in joining the focus group, we'll be, just reach out to us. We'll be glad to have your inputs on the new tool.
Questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Hey guys, so when is the focus group going to start, and is everybody able to participate, or are you targeting a certain population?
There is no like specific population targeting, but anyone interested can participate. I think from each regions, we have 5 regions: Eastern, Southern, Central, Baltimore area, and Western. So any person can participate.
Well, my second question was, when does the focus group start?
Right now, we are identifying group or participants to this group. So in the coming 2-3 months, I think we are going to finalize that. Any other questions?
Okay, you can reach us by email. We have further questions, and this brings us to the end of the presentation for this evening. We appreciate you taking your time to join, and we look forward to seeing you again. We have another presentation next month. We look forward to seeing you in that presentation.
Yeah, thank
so
you
much.
everyone for joining us this evening. Really appreciate it.
Dr. Darcy, hold on. So let's copy the email.
Yes, I'm going to put in the, hold on, let's put this.
I wonder what happened to my Zoom. It's funny.
Yeah.